Welcome back, everybody, to the 90s podcast. This week I'm joined by Gregory as we take a look at a movie that was the penultimate laughs of a legendary director, Mel Brooks' Robin Hood Men in Tights. That and a whole lot more is to come on this week's episode of the 90s podcast. Welcome to the show. Hey everybody, welcome back to the 90s podcast right here on the Because of It Network. Hope you're doing well today. And we are back. This has been fun to get to where we are right now, but I'm joined once again by the awesome Gregory. Greg, how are you, man?
Hey, good, man. What's going on?
Nothing much. Just trying to get everything going, you know what I'm saying? It's been... Last time I did one of these was back in May, the video calls, where I talked to next week's guest. So, that's how long it's been. It's recording these episodes. I've recorded some 3 months in advance, 4 months in advance, and 5 days in advance. So it's I've got a scheduling problem.
You just gotta do what works sometimes, with life hitting you in all different directions,
Well, tonight life hit us pretty bad. We decided that after a TikTok incident that me and Sarah were going to show the kids where that TikTok video came from. So we had the kids watching Trapped in the Closet by R. Kelly all night. And then wondering what the heck is going on.
Right.
But no, we're not here to talk about R. Kelly. We're here to talk about a movie that was the last good movie of a great director.
You think so? Yeah?
Well, ever since this movie, and we'll get into why later, he hasn't done any directing. He did one more movie that was so bad that he quit directing forever.
Okay.
So, he might be back doing it. I don't think he's directing the part 2 that they've got going on. But we're talking about Mel Brooks, and we're talking about Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Absolutely.
Mel Brooks they're doing Spaceballs 2 right now.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Oh, it's fantastic. Fantastic film.
But before we go into it, what are your first thoughts on Robin Hood?
Yeah, it's a good movie. Perfect parody of the movie and of other dramatic and comedic tropes. Just very, very well done. Casting was spot on.
Yeah.
You see a few future stars, which we'll get into as well. Yeah, Carrie Elwes in a front and center role. It's pretty incredible. Absolutely nailed the part. Yeah, just a really good movie. I have a lot of good memories attached to it. A good friend of mine, me and her have like at least a dozen different inside jokes that pertain to this movie. So yeah, it's pretty special one. I consider it a desert island movie. Like, nice. One you could take and just watch over and over again. See also Speed, Dogma, a couple of other ones. Yeah, this one would have to be on it. It's super, super good.
For those who don't know, we're here to educate you, obviously. This is a parody movie and a comedy movie because all parody is comedy in entertainment. It was written by Mel Brooks and credited right into Evan Chandler and J. David Shapiro. Okay, we'll get to these two here in a minute. And it was directed, produced production company by Mel Brooks and Brooks Films, distributed by 20th Century Fox, released July 28th, 1993 with a box office profit of $52 million. So they had a budget of $20 million, they made $52 million.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. And it has a critical rating slightly low of 63% on the John-o-meter. Now, I have to explain this every time. John-o-meter, you take the 3 scores from Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb, and you mash them together, and it spits out a number. And 63% seems low for this movie.
Yeah, it really does. There's some serious cheeky humor in it, and a few adult-ish themes, I would argue. So maybe that was it, because it I don't know, it's kind of like we talked about Ace Ventura, how it was trying to sell itself as this perfectly family-friendly movie. I think maybe some people got the idea that this was like, oh, the kids will love this, and I think for older kids it's fine, but there is allusions to like pornography and like some other sort of, like adult themes, like I was saying. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's low, but I mean, I feel like it's a cult hit, and if you're a
Yeah.
cult classic, you kind of have to be low because that's what makes you outside of the zeitgeist, so to speak. So
Well, we mentioned Blazing Saddles, we mentioned Spaceball, excuse me. Mel Brooks is also known for Blazing Saddles and Young Frankenstein, and this one, I
yeah,
guess, isn't as good as those three, you could argue, because Young Frankenstein was hilarious.
yeah,
Spaceballs, if you're a Star Wars fan, was absolutely hysterical, especially when you got Rick Moranis running around in the Darth Vader helmet,
and
And
so even someone that hasn't seen it, like me, I like I've seen snippets of Star Wars, but I've never really watched it all the way through. Uh, Even for me, like it was still funny. Just the
yeah,
the delivery, the mannerisms, because everybody knows who Darth Vader is. I mean,
yes.
even if you haven't seen it, like he's like synonymous with that. So you could still take away something from that. It's like, oh, he's a huge helmet. It's like that's massive, Like, yeah,
And Rick Moranis is a national Canadian treasure.
yeah, yeah, a worldwide treasure in my opinion. Yeah,
Yeah,
dude's
and
incredible.
and he's come out of retirement to do Spaceballs 2, the sequel. So it must be good if he's coming out of retirement. Excuse me, I lost my voice there. It must be good where he's coming out of retirement to do that movie.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he took a long hiatus. Had a death in his family and became a dad full time. It's pretty noble. He was considering he was white hot when he
Yeah.
walked away. Like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, a trilogy, and Ghostbusters, and like just tons of other stuff I can't think of right now. Yeah, he was huge. So yes, it's cool to see him back, but it's totally understandable why he decided to bow out. When he did.
Mel Brooks did a story that Robin Hood was being written as a comedy movie by Evan Chandler and David Shapiro. Now, those two names come up in different worlds. It's astounding the kind of orbits that those two are in, okay? You've got
Yeah.
Shapiro, the screenwriter, who wrote Battlefield Earth.
Huh.
And even though half his script was laid on the writing room floor and he left the project, he did pick up the Razzies when the film won those awards because Battlefield Earth was a terrible movie.
Mm.
It was an absolutely terrible movie. And even Chandler was infamous as a child actor, and he was the first person to accuse Michael Jackson.
Really? Holy
Yes.
cow.
So
That's noteworthy. Yeah.
So I'm reading this going, what the heck? But Mel Brooks came in, adjusted the script to parody the Robin Hood legend, not just a Robin Hood story, but the whole legend. So his inspiration came from Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, which I think is the main parody sequence of this movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the 1938 adaptation of the Robin Hood story by Errol Flynn. So
Huh.
it's some of those camera shots are reminiscent of the 38 movie because I've seen the 38 movie a couple of times.
Okay, yeah.
So, so Mel Brooks took the project on, got his production company behind it, went ham with it, and instantly he said, "I want Cary Elwes.
Yeah.
Cary Elwes would be a perfect Robin Hood." And why did he think that? The Princess Bride.
Yeah, I was about to say, that was an epic performance. Showed his range, and he could be funny, he could be witty, he could be, he could sell basically whatever character that you're throwing out there. So yeah, absolutely.
But Cary Elwes thought somebody was pranking him and refused to answer Mel Brooks' calls at first because he thought somebody was pretending to be Mel Brooks trying to get a hold of him.
Oh, just messing with him.
Yeah, especially with his agent saying, "Yeah, right, Mel Brooks, sure. Okay, the funniest man in
Sure.
Hollywood is calling me. Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly.
But interestingly enough, right, Princess Bride, back to back full circle, was directed by Rob Reiner, right?
Yeah.
His dad is Carl Reiner, who was Mel Brooks' writing partner.
Okay.
So there's a bit of a connection there. You could
Yeah.
you could see where the Princess Bride elements creep into this movie a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now that you know that. Amy Yazbek, who tragically did not do anything more after the 90s, big, which is a shame because she's awesome. She was not the first choice to play Maid Marian because of her age and her body type. and her nationality.
Huh.
They wanted the typical British blonde bimbo, as they were referred to back then. You know, blonde hair, big breast, stupid. Basically, they wanted, and she said, "Screw that! Put on a fake accent, wore a wig, and stuffed a bra for the audition."
Wow. Okay.
So she got the part, and then obviously, you know, she ditched the wig and, you know, ditched the stuff into the bra and everything like that, but kept the accent, strangely enough.
I just had the worst case of what's it called? Mandela effect. I could have swore that Maid Marian was Jenny. I could have swore it was the same person.
Oh, who played Jenny again?
Air.
Robin Wright Penn.
Yeah.
Robin Wright. Yeah. So I don't know.
But yeah, no, it's so yeah. I looked it up. Yeah, Amy Yazbek. That's a shot right there. That's 10,000% her. Totally.
Yeah, she did a lot of good movies in the early '90s, and then kind of fell off the face of moviedom. You know, I don't remember her being in anything else after the Flintstones.
Oh, that's right. She was in that too. Okay. Yeah. I mean, she could have played. I don't know. Maybe could have played Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah.
Or something. She's got kind of like the complexion and the hair going. So possibly, yeah. Yeah, there's a few people in the '90s that kind of just flickered in and flickered out. And some by poor decisions, other by, you know, just getting absorbed by Hollywood, the lifestyle, the partying and the debauchery and all that. So it sucks, man.
Well, the rest of the movie was cast pretty much how they they wanted it. They wanted Dave Chappelle. They got Dave Chappelle. One of the people who they wanted to get was Hulk Hogan to play Little John.
That would have been amazing. I'm sorry, but that would have been really, really good. Yeah, but top to bottom, I think the casting was pretty perfect. You know, you can't really complain about the final product in that regard.
No, because the guy who played Little John, who is Eric Allen Kramer, was absolutely hilarious in the role.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, all of them. Yeah, I always forget Tracy Ullman was a part of the supporting cast.
Yes,
but yeah, she's absolutely hilarious. Latrine.
Latrine.
And Blinken had some of the best lines in the whole entire movie.
Did.
I mean, it was so, yeah, it's so good.
So you had Carrie Elwes as Robin O'Loughlin. Richard Lewis also had some great lines as Prince
Absolutely.
John. Roger Rees as the Sheriff of Rottenham was absolutely hilarious also.
Yep.
And Amy Yazbek as Maid Marian was kind of... She wasn't as funny as everybody else. She was the kind of straight man, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Sure.
But then you had Chappelle as a Chew. We mentioned Blinken as Mark Blankenfield. Eric Allen Kramer as Little John. Matthew Potera as Will Scarlett O'Hara, in my opinion, the least funniest joke in the movie.
Yeah.
Just like...
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I don't remember it, so it must not be.
Well, his name's Scarlett O'Hara.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's why they're from Georgia. So, yeah, there's like I watched that. I was like, okay, that's not funny. Tracy Ullman as Latrine, or she said used to be. It's
better. It's an improvement.
It's an improvement. Megan Kavanagh as Broomhilda. I love that part too. She's absolutely hilarious. Then you had small roles for Mel Brooks playing Rabbi Tuckman, which, you know, for those of you who follow the Robin Hood legend, that's the Jewish version of Friar Tuck.
Yeah, he loves to shoehorn himself into his movies, so there's no surprise there when he just pops up just for a second. There's like a line or two. That's it. Yeah.
You got Patrick Stewart playing King Richard.
Perfect.
With a really bad Scottish accent that he did on purpose.
Yeah, okay.
Because he was like, you know what? If Sean Connery can be in the movie, so can I.
Yeah, right.
You had Isaac Hayes, Dom DeLuise. Then you had Joe Dimmick and Steve Tanoka as Dirty Enzo and Filthy Lucre. And Gene Wilder was in the movie as well. I did not know that.
Random.
He apparently disguised himself as one of the wedding goers in the scene before the villagers attack.
Interesting.
So,
yeah.
So I went to IMDb, and I've done this, you know, several times this season. Sometimes it's come out good, sometimes it hasn't come out at all. which you'll find out which episode that is here in a couple of weeks. They gave. I went on and grabbed a plot for a certain movie that we're going to cover in the next couple of weeks. I'll tell you what it is off camera later. But
Gotcha.
But the script was so bad that when Sarah was recording it, she's like, "Hang on a minute, we got to go back and fix this bit. We got to fix this bit. Hang on, that didn't happen this way." So we spent like an hour going through the plot line, and yeah. But this one I've read through a couple of times, and this appears to be correct, or as best as I can remember it. Because I watched the movie last year in preparation to doing this before the computer blew up, because we were going to do this last year.
Yeah.
So this is from IMDb. So if it's wrong, send the comments. I don't care. So Robin Hood, or Robin of Locksley, played by Cary Elwes, is captured during the Crusades and is imprisoned at Khalil Prison in Jerusalem. Robin is taken to the torture chamber to get him to divulge the information of his King Richard. Due to his lack of cooperation, Robin's tongue is elongated amongst other torture techniques tried on him. The tongue loosener. I don't know why, but the way he said tongue loosener in the movie really, really cracked me up every single time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's all kinds of little nuggets like that in this one. I love that about it.
With the help of fellow inmate a sneeze... played by Isaac Hayes, who's in prison for jaywalking, he escapes and frees the other inmates. Robin announces his intention to return to England from Africa. Well, Middle East. It's in that peninsular area, you know? That connects Africa to Asia. So, yeah, I'll consider that correct. So Robin is asked by a sneeze to find his son, Achu, who is an exchange student in England. He said that he is very headstrong and cocksure. Or is it the other way around? That line always killed me too. So Robin agrees and swims all the way from Jerusalem to England. Upon returning to England, Robin finds Achu being beaten by the royal guard. Robin dispatches the soldiers to rescue Achu and discovers that Prince John, Richard Lewis, has assumed control while King Richard is away fighting in the Crusades. There was also a couple of Rodney King jokes thrown in there as well, because Tommen is everything, but that dates the movie pretty quickly,
Yeah.
Because like the first part of the movie, okay, fair enough, there's no pop culture references, it's just whatever, and then all of a sudden, Rodney King jokes. It's like, okay, fair enough, we know kind of where we are with what year this is. This is early 90s.
Yeah, this is in past 1992. It's like April of 1992, so yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So, unbeknown to Richard, the prince is abusing his power. Robin's family home, Locksley Hall, has been repossessed by John's men for the non-payment of back taxes opposed by John to the population to fleece them. He vows to get back all his family's things that are taken. His family's blind servant, Blinken, informs Robin that his family is dead and his father left him a key which, quote, opens up the greatest treasure in all the land. And that becomes kind of not a MacGuffin. Yeah, MacGuffin in the whole movie. Where does this key lead to? It's like
exactly.
It's like the briefcase in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, perfect.
So, Robin meets up with Blinken along with large and ignorant Little John and his friend Will Scarlet. I'm refusing to say the last bit of his name, whom he recruits to help regain his father's land to oust Prince John from the throne. Little John is demanding a toll to cross the bridge, and when he and Robin is engaged in a fight and Robin defeats him, Little John falls into a small 2-inch ravine of water and claims to be drowning. That fight scene is absolutely hilarious because of the stick breaking all the time, and they've got like 5-foot-long sticks at the beginning of the fight, and in the end they're just kind of holding a little one, tapping each other's fingers to try and annoy each other.
Yeah, it's great. Really good job choreographing it and letting the physical comedy shine instead of the delivery from the script or the actor. Let them duke it out. And
this was in a year when Jim Carrey was coming on board, and Cary Elwes could be mistaken for Jim Carrey in a lot of things because they look alike and they've got the same acting ability. Although Cary Elwes is not as physically funnier than Jim Carrey is.
Yeah, he's not as over the top as Jim. Jim's crazy over the top. Yeah,
but this is close. This is as close as you get.
Yeah, this
And
is
it's
yeah, it's turbo mode, if you will. Yeah, absolutely.
but Robin saves Little John from drowning again in 2 inches of water. He gains his services and his loyalty and respect. So, a little boy was caught hunting in the King's Forest, an offence punishable by death, and is pursued by the Sheriff of Rottingham. The boy escapes and meets Robin in the jungle, who saves him from the Sheriff by easily defeating him in a sword fight. The Sheriff is humiliated in front of his own men, and Robin makes an enemy out of him. Yeah, that's got one of my favourite lines in the whole movie, said by Chappelle. You know, it's like, you know, he goes, right, well, I'm off now. He goes, yes, well, if I was that close to a horse, I'd be worried about getting on right now. And
Yeah,
that
right.
line always kills me. And again, I don't know. Some of these lines in this movie have me hysterically laughing. And I don't know why. Because if you write them down, they're not that funny.
Yeah.
But it's just the performances by all the actors and, you know, the direction of everything just makes it funny. If that makes sense.
Yeah, the context of it too, I think.
Yeah.
Like, because a lot of it is dependent on what's happening or the environment, or sometimes it's a sight gag, and then you have like a word or a phrase that kind of like triggers that full sight gag.
Yeah.
So yeah, usually there's a couple things like working together on it, but yeah, you're right. Yeah, it doesn't always just translate directly on paper. It's something that's got to be crafted and delivered appropriately.
Yeah. So, the sheriff returns to King John to inform him that Robin Hood has returned from the Crusades. I love this scene. I love this scene. He's like, I've got some news. It's bad news. Well, what if I told you the bad news in a good way? And then he laughs hysterically while explaining how Robin Hood beat up all his men. He's come back and sworn revenge, and you know, and
Yeah.
you know, I can't do it justice. But the guy who the guy, I've lost his name. Anyway, the guy who plays Sheriff of Rottingham does a really, really good job in this scene, you know, because he's got to keep up with Richard Lewis for a start, you know.
Yeah, right.
And he outshines him in this scene, in my opinion. But
sure.
This is bad news for Robin, as he hates John and loves his brother Richard. Robin would rather see John hanged for treason, while John meets with Latrine to find out more about Robin. Latrine says Robin is a courageous warrior who is adamant to win back his family's honour. She adds that Robin could spell trouble for John if not handled in time. Latrine offers to make a potion to incapacitate Robin, but in exchange she wants John to put in a good word with the Sheriff of Rottingham, who she has the hots for. So you can see where this is going. And Tracy Ullman, in all that makeup, with the nose and the warts and everything like that, they did a good job of making her look like an old crone.
Yeah.
You know, she looks exactly like you'd expect the witch living in the tower to look like.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, it's a perfect conceptualization of that kind of stereotype, so to speak, you know. But yeah, and she sells it too. Again, I mean, that's a hallmark of this movie. Like, people, you know, aces in their places, people doing the things that they do best, you know, in their perfect spot.
So, on his quest, Robin attacks the attention of Maid Marian, who wants to find the man who has the key to her heart and her chastity belt. Broomhilda is Marian's lady-in-waiting, who is adamant to protect her virtue at all costs. Yeah, she does a really, really good job of protecting her.
Yep.
Especially when diving out the castle window.
Yeah,
You know?
full commitment there.
Full commitment.
Absolutely.
Robin and his men are joined by Rabbi Tuckman, who shares with them his sacramental wine and bargain circumcisions. There's a great visual gag at the end of the movie where he's operating a hut in a market, and it said circumcisions half off.
Yeah, that's not where you want that.
Yeah. While Robin was training an army of villagers, the spoonerism spouting Sheriff of Rottingham hires mafioso Don Giovanni to assassinate Robin at a spring festival. Now, this plotline has missed out one thing: the banquet.
Yeah.
I still remember the phrase that he says spoonerism, Sheriff of Rottingham. I still remember the phrase that he tries to say, and everybody looks at him like he's stupid, and then he says the correct phrase. So I'm going to try it right now. King's illegal forest, to kill wild, Bo killing it is. I still remember it.
Oh wow, that hurts my brain.
And he's like, wait, what? And then he said, do you know it's illegal to kill a wild boar in the King's Forest? So it's like talking in Welsh, you know. It's
different adjective and noun order and stuff like that. Yeah,
and way too many vowels. And I'm laughing at this, but I can barely speak Welsh, so I'm going to move on. Maid Marian hears of the evil plot and sneaks out of the castle to warn Robin, accompanied by Broomhilda. However, due to his pride, Robin cannot refuse the chance to participate in the tournament. So he's got a price on his head, and he's still going anyway. Brave man or stupid? A little of both.
Yeah, there's some hubris there, but I mean, he knows he's good. I mean, I don't know, maybe he's got a shot there, so why not? Yeah.
So
leave your disguise on, though, I would say. But,
yes.
Anyway.
But the archery tournament, the disguised Robin mixes the final round where he finally unmasks himself. He makes a shot but loses to his opponent. Robin calls this situation absurd and is angry and pulls out a copy of the script to discover he gets another shot. That bit I laugh at too. It's wait, I get another shot.
And they're all digging their script out of their satchel or their dress, or whatever.
Like, oh yeah, he does, doesn't he? Yeah. Okay. As Robin lines up the shot, Giovanni's assassin attempts to kill him by shooting at him from the Royal Folio Depository.
Which is
I didn't get that till years later.
JFK reference there, yeah.
So he's using a scoped crossbow, but Blinken catches the arrow in midair because Blinken is blind, and therefore the stereotype is that blind folks hear better and touch better. Basically, you lose one sense, and all your other senses compensate for that. So you can hear the arrow coming before anybody else can, and he snatches it out of midair.
Yeah.
And then blows the joke by going, "Who said that?"
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, perfect.
So Robin takes the second shot, this time using a special Patriot arrow. Again, I didn't get that till years later.
Yeah.
So after winning the tournament, Robin is arrested. However, Marian agrees to marry the sheriff in exchange for Robin's life. At the ceremony, the ceremony reveals the sheriff's name, Mervyn. And before she can say "I do," the castle is attacked by the men in tights, led by Little John, Achu, Blinken, and Will. They quickly free Robin, and the battle ensues. Marian is carried off by the sheriff, however, who wants to handle his business. So, not
consummate the marriage.
Consummate the marriage, yes. Robin arrives and deals the sheriff, to which Robin's key falls in the lock of Marian's chastity belt. After winning the fight, Robin spares the sheriff's life, only for him to accidentally run the sheriff through. So, Latrine shows up and offers Prince John a special gift that, I'll give you a magical lifesaver in exchange of you marrying me. So, if the UK fans, that's a polo.
Yeah.
Robin and Marian prepare to celebrate the victory in a special way when Broomhilda arrives, insisting that they must be married. Before the ceremony can be completed by Rabbi Tuckman, they are interrupted by King Richard, Patrick Stewart, who has returned from the Crusades. He orders that John be taken away to the Tower of London and be made part of the tour. That's not a good sign. He also announces that due to the foul stench the prince has left, all toilets will be referred to as John's. I hated that line.
Yeah, I would say that. I always wondered about that. Like, if people named John took that personally, because it's like, ouch, man.
I did. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I was like 10 when I first saw this movie. I was like, oh, really?
Yeah.
And then I remembered a couple of my friends from school saw this movie. So it's like, oh, crap, I got to go to school Monday.
Yeah, no, I remember reading a book. I think it was like second or third grade about a goat that ate way too much, and it was his name was Gregory. So I heard So I kind of relate to that a little bit, guys. I was like, I can't help that. Like,
10-year-olds are let's just be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, that's part of the uniform right there. Yeah.
But with all being as it should be, Robin and Marian are married, and Achu is made the new sheriff of Rottingham after he declares that it worked in Blazing Saddles. That night, Robin and Marion attempt to open the chastity belt, only to discover that even with the key, the lock is rusted and won't open. The film ends with Robin calling for a locksmith.
Right.
And there goes Robin Hood Men in Tights. There's some things that plot left out, but I understand why they left it out, because it's not, like the bit where they call the villagers in there and they're giving them the uniform and they're in the eggs. The tights in the eggs. I did not understand that. That joke did not translate across the world.
The mole too.
Yeah, the mole switching.
The running gag. It's very subtle in the beginning, and they call attention to it. It's one of those things that makes it kind of worth watching again, because you watch again, you're like, oh yeah, it's on the left. Oh wow, it's up there now. Oh, okay, it's over there. Like it gives you something else, some more value.
The best part about that gag is not the fact that the mole is moving around. Is when the attention is brought to the fact that the mole is moving around. He goes, I have a mole?
Yeah. He's totally unaware of its existence, and he sells it too. It's not a gag. Like he's in true disbelief. Yeah, it's great. Absolutely.
So behind the scenes, right? Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, there's a lot of jokes in there. Patrick Stewart played King Richard with a strong fake Scottish accent as a knock to Sean Connery's thick Scottish accent, which he deemed was inappropriate for an English king. Now,
right.
In that era, he would have had a French accent to begin with. So Jean-Luc Picard should have done a French accent to kind of steady the ship. Because Old English, your accent sounded like French. So the Scottish accent didn't exist back then because very few Scottish people spoke English. So
okay, that makes sense.
Ironically, like I said, the English one even had more French accent. Carrie Elwes mocked Kevin Costner for speaking with an American accent, saying, unlike some other Robin Hoods, I can speak with an English accent.
Yeah, and he's not English, is he?
No, I think he's Canadian.
Yeah, I was about to say that's another tick on the box for Jim Carrey similarity.
But that line didn't go well in test screenings in different countries. So in Germany, they dubbed it making fun of Kevin Costner's money. In France and Italy, they mocked Dances with Wolves. And in the French Canadian dub, they mocked Kevin Costner's refusal to be naked. Because there was a scene where he in the movie where he was taking a shower under a waterfall and he was supposed to be naked in there, and he used a body double. Which in the Hungary version, they just basically came out and said, "You're a wimp," Yeah. So, yeah. And we mentioned Prince John's face across the, everything like that. That was because of a continuity error in the original Prince of Thieves.
Oh, okay.
Because Alan Rickman's mole moved from this side of his nose to the other side of his nose. And that wasn't done intentionally by makeup. That was, they had the camera mirrored for some reason.
Yeah, that'll do it.
For some reason, they used the wrong shot. So, and back then, editing wasn't done on, tape and hard drives and stuff like that. It was literally, that's why you get the term cutting room floor. They were using razor blades and
reel to reel.
And editing these big movies like that was a nightmare. But even so, having the film turned the wrong way around when you edited it kind of is an amateur move to begin with.
Yeah, kind of, because there can be other things that can come into play there, like there could be words in the background or other things that'll immediately tip you off, like, hey, this is a reversed image. But yeah, a mole is very subtle. I think it just real quick to go back to the mocking Kevin Costner and them pulling it from some places. I think it's funny because in America, when the trailer had that line specifically, that was like one of the big parts of the trailer. So it's funny that they put so much stock in it, but then kind of didn't everywhere else. They kind of threw something else. It's really interesting.
Yeah, and I mean the only other bit they directly mocked was the Patrick Stewart bit. When he came out pretending to be Connery, which after seeing some Saturday Night Live mocks of Connery too, so
yeah, some good ones. Yeah, absolutely.
So there are other references in the movie, like for example, the eggs where the tights are taken out of was a knockoff of Leg's pantyhose. Never heard of them in my life. I was wondering why they were cracking eggs and you know, giving the tights out. When Dirty Enzo sets himself up to assassinate Robin, the sign behind him reads Royal Folio Depository, which is, you know, JFK assassination. So I've been there, believe it or not. I've been to the Texas Book Depository.
Yeah.
The floor where they shot is still the same as it was day after JFK was shot, right? Which is, you know, which is fine. You know, you want to preserve it, crime scene, and then charge people $10 a head to come in and see it, right? And read the story behind it and everything like that. I looked out the window. There's an X on the tarmac from where the first shot was fired.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm looking out the window, and it's like there's a giant X on the ground, and it's like, okay, that's a little suspect.
Yeah, it's a little chilling. Yeah.
One of the funniest scenes in the movie is when the soldiers fall like dominoes, and that took weeks to set up and execute. So, I mean, you know, one of the funniest 10-second gags in the movie took the longest to film.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, it's a cool little part.
Robin Hood's speech that he sends the villagers to sleep is a parody of a Winston Churchill speech, the infamous Winston Churchill speech. We'll fight them on the beaches, we'll fight them on the shores, and that is kind of a boring speech. It was inspirational to the British Army back then, but, you know, it sent the villagers to sleep. And then a Chew speech ripped off Malcolm X.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Prince John speaks Yiddish when Robin Hood drops off a pig, which had me laughing because I didn't know what he was saying. Yeah. But apparently he said treif, which means non-kosher.
Yeah, I can't eat that.
No. Oh, excuse me. The scene where the sheriff falls through the roof and is almost seduced by a latrine was 100% improvised by Roger Rees and Tracy Ullman.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and
it's hilarious.
Roger Rees does not get his flowers for this movie enough.
No.
They focus on Cary Elwes' performance and Richard Lewis's, but he kept up with a lot of comedy legends and a real classically trained actor.
Yeah, it's Andy McDowell syndrome again.
Yeah.
You know, did such a good job that he just kind of fit right in, that like he let other people shine. Other people shone through him, you know. Yeah, exactly.
Well, another extension of the Alan Rickman mole joke. See, the executioner was the same guy from Blazing Saddles, and he had an eye patch over his left eye in Blazing Saddles, where in this movie he had it over the right eye. So again, mocking the Alan Rickman, the Alan Rickman mole sequence again. So, I think this movie is an 8 out of 10. What do you think?
Yeah. I'd have to give it. Yeah, I would say right around there, 8, maybe a 9. Like it's, I don't know. Can be a little campy at times, but I mean, there's some really good parts in it. It's got the plot is serious, but the road to get there is wacky and wild. It's really well done. So it's just a good portrayal of dry comedy, you know.
Yes.
It's a little bit of slapstick here and there. The scene where Blinken is reading the magazine with his hands, that's absolutely hilarious. Yeah, so it's really good. Yeah, Desert Island movie. Yeah, I give it a 9.
Well, when I first watched it, I like I said, I was like 8 or 10, 9 or 10, and it was funny. You know, it was hilarious. The jokes I got, I was absolutely laughing at. And I knew some things about, you know, like Mel Brooks was Jewish, and he puts a lot of Judaism in his movies, you know, so like Rabbi Tuckman and, you know, the circumcisions and stuff like that. And then you throw Richard Lewis in there, who's also Jewish, and you know, just the pair of them kind of put a bunch of Jewish jokes in there that were not anti-Semitic. They were just jokes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and the fact that those two were performing them, you know, shows you. But Cary Elwes, man, what a performance.
Yeah, absolutely.
He nails Robin Hood, and he is able to just, I don't know, he's able to do something that, okay, one of my favorite movies was released around this time, Muppet Christmas Carol, right? And one of the reasons I love that movie is because of Michael Caine, right? He played that performance so straight that he didn't acknowledge that his co-stars were Muppets. He just treated them like they were just actors, right?
Yeah.
And Cary Elwes does the same here, so to speak. He doesn't do any winks and nods at the camera, aside from that one joke about the English accent, right? The rest of the time, he's playing it a little campy, but he's playing it seriously. He is Robin Hood. He embodies Robin Hood in this movie. So it's not just like, I'm going to play Robin Hood. He became Robin Hood in that universe where everything's absurd, and he nailed it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's a perfect choice for Robin Hood, definitely. Yeah, he played it absolutely perfectly. He was the right age, yeah, the right
Yeah.
the right look, all that good stuff. Yeah, totally.
The only thing that could be slightly problematic now is the Men in Tights song.
Yeah.
Just it could be problematic. Some people would say that it is. I think it's borderline problematic.
Yeah.
But that's not for me to say or anything like that. But the fact that the choreography of that song, where they have to drag Blinken through the choreography, literally grabbing his shirt to make him move one side of the screen to the other side of the screen, and he punches everybody.
Yeah.
That gag is, again, that's a good one too. Well, what happened after Robin Hood Men in Tights, right? Mel Brooks would make a parody movie. Now, Mel Brooks built his career off of parody movies, okay? We know that,
Yeah.
right? That's where he built his career up until the 90s on. And then all of a sudden the 90s exploded with parody movies. Right?
Yeah.
And Mel Brooks was no exception to doing parody movies. He did one more, Dracula, Dead and Loving It. And the movie was so bad that Brooks retired from directing at that point.
Did you see that movie?
No.
I saw it in the theater, actually.
How bad was it?
I was really young at the time, but I remember liking it. I remember laughing quite a bit, actually.
Well, it had Leslie Nielsen in it, so you knew you were going to get
Yeah,
humor.
a
Like,
certain level.
like Leslie Nielsen, man, I could do a whole deep dive into his career because he was
Amazing.
he was such a serious actor.
Absolutely, but he just sells the comedy.
Like just the phrase "I'm a locksmith and I'm the locksmith." Just who are you?
Yeah,
How'd you get in here? I'm a locksmith and I'm the locksmith. Just deadpan as can be, right? Leslie Nielsen's the reverse Jim Carrey.
yeah, the anti Jim Carrey.
Because Jim Carrey was comedy genius turned serious actor, and was damn good at being a serious actor. Whereas Leslie Nielsen was serious actor turned into comic genius, and he was a damn good comic genius.
Yeah,
But so he kind of, after Dracula, Dead and Loving It, Mel Brooks walked away, and he did do Paws of Fury, which was a child-friendly reworking of Blazing Saddles. Which,
wow. Okay.
for those people who say Blazing Saddles couldn't be made today, they're missing the point of the movie Blazing Saddles.
Yeah,
They only see it as spouting certain words, and no, it was a parody of those people, not parody of black people.
yeah,
It was a parody of people it was a parody of racists.
yeah.
And it's the racist folks these days who say you can't make that movie anymore. Well, obviously you missed the point of the movie,
Mm-hmm.
But so what happened with the genre, right? The genre took a hard left, and bad parody movies came out all over the place with Leslie Nielsen doing a couple of them, like Spy Hard. I liked Spy Hard, but it wasn't as good as some of his other work. And they did a parody of The Fugitive, with Leslie Nielsen playing, his wife was killed by the one-armed, one-legged man. And it was just a bunch of bad jokes. And, when I say bad jokes, I mean bad jokes,
Oh yeah, I saw Spy Hard. I remember that.
Spy Hard, and the other one was Wrongfully Accused.
Okay, I don't think
Right?
I saw that one, but I
No,
definitely saw Spy Hard.
Spyhead. I think we all saw Spyhead, and it was like a 5 out of 10, but Wrongfully Accused was like a 2 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
It was that bad, right? And then there were two guys called Jason Friedberg and Aaron Seltzer. Okay, so
Yeah.
they started writing a little movie that was picked up by the Wayans brothers called Scary Movie.
Mm.
We all know Scary Movie. Scary Movie is absolutely hilarious, right? One of the greatest parody movies of all time. Scary Movie 2 was even better, which is hard to believe because Scary Movie 1 was absolutely fantastic, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you had that, and you had Galaxy Quest came out around about that time too. Although
Another
that,
great parody.
although that's more of a homage, I guess.
Yeah, more than a parody. That's true. That's a good point.
But at the same time, it did do a lot of parody, you know, stereotypes in there of the
Yeah.
genre, you know. And Galaxy Quest apparently is the seventh best Star Trek movie in history, according to Star Trek fans.
Wow.
So it was a parody, but everybody watched it. Well, like, yeah, fair enough, that's true. But
Yeah.
so when Scary Movie was released, right, Friedberg and Seltzer were on the writing team, but the Wayne brothers take over the characters, rewrite the movie. You've got a really, really good movie on your hands, right?
Right.
So Friedberg and Seltzer would completely and utterly destroy the parody movie genre. They really, really would. A lot of these have less than 20 out of 10 on Metacritic, and all of them have less than a 10% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. I want to read a couple out for you. Date Movie. Did you ever see that?
No, I remember hearing about it, but no, I never
That's
saw it.
90 minutes of my life I will never get back.
Yeah, gotcha.
Meet the Spartans.
Yes, I did see that one.
Vampires Suck.
No, I probably wanted to though.
Disaster Movie.
No,
The Starving Games.
no, not
Yeah,
at all.
all of these movies got less than 10% on Rotten Tomato, but they'd advertise them from 2 of the 6 writers of Scary Movie. So they milked that success that somebody else had, for 10 years trying to get these big budget parodies out there that were absolutely dreadful, and then wondered why they didn't work for 10 years after that. I mean, as of today, they've not, as recording, they haven't released a movie in 10 years. And not just the fact that the movies were bad, but they lost tons of money.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking millions of dollars in unfunny jokes, and
Yeah, Date Movie's got 1.5 stars. I
Yeah.
mean, it's down in the cellar for sure.
Yeah, I mean, because the problem, right? The problem with parody movies, right? I'll say the problem with parody movies. To write a good parody movie, you've got to do it out of a position of respect of what you parody in.
Yeah.
I mean, Blazing Saddles, for example, yes, it's a movie about racists, but it does parody the Western genre pretty hard. But Mel Brooks apparently likes Western movies. Spaceballs was a complete parody of Star Wars, but everybody who liked Star Wars liked Spaceballs because it was pointing out the ridiculousness of sci-fi genre, right? Space sci-fi, but it came from a place of respect. That's why you've got to start with a parody movie. You've got to respect what you parody in, or it's not going to work.
It's not going to come through, yeah.
That's why Weird Al Yankovic has been going for nearly 50 years now.
Yeah.
Because he respected what he was parodying. Like, he'd call up the artist and say, hey, can I cover this song? I'm going to parody it. And if they said no, he respected their wishes. Except for the one time where he didn't realize he didn't have permission to do it, and that became his biggest hit. With Amish Paradise. But, I mean, like, for example, he went to Paul McCartney to do a song called Chicken Pot Pie, which is a parody of Live and Let Die. And when McCartney said, no, I'm a vegetarian, you can't do a song about eating chickens, he respectfully never performed it and never released it, So these guys in film, they weren't parodying these movies out of respect for the movies they were parodying. They were taking low-hanging fruit and, taking the mick out of everything in an unfunny way because they didn't respect what they were ripping off.
Yeah, it's just cheap humor, essentially. Yeah.
Not even
Absolutely.
cheap humor. I mean, it was expensive humor, the amount of money that they lost.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
But, no, so you said Blazing Saddles is going to be on your desert island. Not Blazing Saddles, Robin Hood Men in Tights is going to be on your desert island.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. Well, we're going to leave it with that note. So, that's actually going to be the question of the week. So, yes, I'll get that as the question of the week. So, Greg, it's been awesome to have you on, man.
Yeah, man, it's always good to be on. Good to be back.
Yes, it is good to be back. We've got more episodes coming up this season. This is just the first of 13. I'll explain what's coming up next week here in a couple of minutes. Greg, thank you for coming on.
Absolutely, man. Peace.
A sincere thank you to Greg for joining us this episode. I really do appreciate it on short notice as well. I've been having a lot of problems with my recording schedule as of late. I've recorded some of these episodes back in May. We're in October right now, and some of these episodes I'm recording on October 4th. So, that's how long I've been planning this season, trying to get it up and running and everything like that. Greg will be back later in the season. We've got a couple more episodes for him to do. In the meantime, if you were listening to this on our YouTube channel, you'll notice that I've been putting a lot of Skyrim videos up there. The Elder Scrolls was released in 1994, so I'm counting this as part of 90s pop culture, even though it's 2010s pop culture and early 2010s pop culture. We're in mid-2025 right now. But it's one of my favorite games, one of my favorite game series ever, so I thought I would do something that nobody has been doing a lot of. And even though it's an older game, I'm hoping that people are enjoying what I'm laying down. And I thank everybody for taking the time out of their day for watching it. This upcoming week, we start our adventure for the Book of Love. And we begin a hunt for more salt pile, which is incredibly important for the type of playthrough that we're playing through. And of course, we need more iron as well. And how are we going to get all three taken care of? Watch it on YouTube. Next week on the 90s podcast, we're joined by Paddy Oliver, an old school friend of mine, as we talk about the 1995 Blur album, The Great Escape. Is it a masterpiece? Is it dreadful? Is it both? We'll go over why the music press considered that way. Paddy's a big Blur fan. Paddy's a great musician. I've known him for nearly 30 years. He's a good guy, and I'm glad that I was able to get him on, and he's a really, really good guest, too. You want to watch out for that next week. Even if you're not a fan of Blur, it's really, really worth taking your time out to listen to next week's episode, because it's good. And that is it for this week. If you like what you see, go check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, or wherever you get good podcasts. We're on Facebook and Instagram for the latest news and what have you. And while the website is not up to date, go to becausemaybepodcast.com and you'll find our archive. It's currently under reconstruction, and I'm having a little hard time reconstructing it because my computer doesn't want to pull it up, even though... Yeah, it's a pain in the rear. I'm trying to get it. It'll be done by the end of the year, hopefully. And that's it. It's good to be back, everybody. It really, really is. I'm so glad that I'm getting the opportunity to do this for you. We're in our 12th season. We're in our 8th year. We've had some ups and downs. We've had some downs and downs, but it's good to be back. And I want to thank everybody who has listened to this podcast. We've gotten a lot of downloads, we've done a lot of episodes, and more than I could ever imagine, and I appreciate every single one of you. But until next week, I want you all to take it easy, everybody, and we'll see you then. Bye.